Hey, good morning, everybody. Morning, morning. Morning, John. Morning, David. Morning, Al. Morning. Take my headphones off. Morning. How's it going? Market's moving. Everything kind of popping and dropping and all sorts of stuff going on. So let's talk about it, shall we? And all trading involves a substantial risk of loss. Past performance not necessarily indicative of future results. Excuse me. A little gravel there. This presentation here, informational, educational, and fun. Hope you have fun. Is not a recommendation to buy or sell any financial instrument out there. If you desire that personal financial advice, you need to hire and consult a financial advisor. Has a fiduciary duty to give you advice based on your financial situation. All right. So, Empire State numbers this morning. And may have to refresh this. I didn't pop in here early and refresh anything. Yeah, that thing is going to be goofy. Go right here. So we have the Empire State Manufacturing coming in light, getting a negative reaction in the market a little bit. We've got FOMC member Goolsby. I had to pause for a second, make sure I said that. Goolsby. I was like, Google B? What? Anyway, we have another FOMC member coming up here in just momentarily, looks like. Kashkari. And then coming up on later in the day, we have Fed member Cook speaking this evening. So that's all coming up. We have core retail sales coming out tomorrow before the open. That's a red event, likely to cause some volatility before the open tomorrow. So just keep that in mind before the market closes today. If you got anything that might be affected by crazy core retail sales numbers. We've been kind of disappointing on a lot of these things. Disappointing on the Empire State Manufacturing here. We were expecting a -3 and got a -31. But, that's coming in line with these large negative prints we've had the past little year, I guess that was August, almost a year. So right in line with the large negative prints we've had. And just showing some, manufacturing demand in the U.S. low. I mean, kind of been low. It's less of a big shock than what we had right there last August. We surprised to the downside right there with I guess we were expecting about a -10-ish and got a -31.8. This one, our current one is -31.8. That one was -33. So not the worst it's been. Certainly not like what happened back here during COVID. And if we zoom out just a little bit, pick up back in 2008, excuse me. Yeah, in line with the bottoming process. We haven't spent a lot of time down here, but in line with this bottoming process and then coming back out of it. So we do get little hiccups from time to time. And, I mean, it all seems in line. Now, the market reaction, a little bit negative today. I don't know. I kind of expected, I think we could all say we expected a little bit of negative, but, the market's the market. So let me pull up the earnings for this week. Open a browser, pull this over. Now, the majority of S&P 500 companies have reported earnings. There's, maybe 20-ish, 15 or 20% left. I don't have the actual statistic, but this morning we had Monday, Workhorse, Azul, Caliant, Tower, Trevina. Looks like lots of kind of Tower Semiconductor. I was going to say, less prominent companies, more prominent being like Home Depot coming over here, Cisco, Target, names that everybody knows, everybody goes and shops at. Lost my words there for a minute. But we've already been through the majority, like the Apple, the Amazon, the Netflix, the big tech stuff, mostly already all complete. Cisco used to be one of the largest companies in the world, and now just kind of we do have Walmart coming in here, so we got a lot of retail coming up this week. I don't know if this is going to cause a lot of movement, but if you're in some of these stocks, you might be cognizant of the earnings that are coming up because any one company can see some big moves. That's always the case, right? And Boot Barn was a great trade earlier in the year. I don't know if it's going to continue. We've kind of had a sideways action in it here the last couple months, really. Hey, Kimberly, morning, my dear, morning. So let's go ahead and jump into some of the charts. And like I said, this thing being weird, popping up. Here we go. ES, get a little green off of the open. It did open a little lower. Get a nice little pop here, 7 points-ish. Not super stellar. If we jump down in the time frame, we can see kind of rolled over on that Empire State, coming down, finding support at that 15-minute roadmap line. The roadmap line does work on all time frames, but you got to be on the right time frame. So this holding in this area, that's actually bullish. I'm looking at that 1, 2, 3, 4, and we can see a 5 before a deeper retrace. So might expect a little bit of chop here. This could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and we could see a 5 up here. Would look something like, if we hold right in here, could be a move up to about 4170, and then we probably see a retrace back down into the same area. So that's kind of my expectation for the day. A little early here, we may see it do this, but it's got to hold right in here. If it starts pushing below this high right here at 4138, we're probably going on down. So that's kind of the long and the short of it. Anyway, my cheesy jokes. Anyway, so we may see this pop up to that 4170 area and then retrace. Now, you may be saying, JT, what the heck is ES? Like, I'm brand new here. I'm not even sure what's going on. Well, first off, hit the subscribe button so you can chat with us, and then you can ask your question on the live chat, because the only requirement is you be a subscriber. We had some bots and whatever, and cut all that riffraff out when we required subscribers. So just click the subscribe button. You can jump on the live stream and chat right there on the chat thing. It's right on YouTube, and ask your question. But ES is the S&P 500 futures, so that's going to be like SPX, SPY, all those kind of derivatives. All are derived off of these futures. So we have the market open in about 10 more minutes, 12 more minutes. So right there's kind of my bias for the day. Maybe a little pop, maybe a little drop. As long as we hold over this high from right over here, gotta hold above that. If we start breaking down below that, probably going lower low, right down there. All right, and that's just on this move right here. It's in the immediate, next couple hours. If we make a higher high than we've made right here at 41.57, if we go higher high than that, then all bets are off. What happens next? All right, this is just we've got to hold support in this little area right here for the next little bit, right like that. Got to hold support there and move higher. As soon as we make a higher high, we can do all sorts of things. It opens up the path for a lot of different things. That's kind of my expectation right now, though, is to rally about the same size move we did right there on Friday, right off of here, and then get a retrace back into the same area. So just chop. More chop. That's what you wanted to hear, right? It's what we all wanted to hear. Right, Alan, Kevin, Patrick, Workman Smith, Keenan? Morning, 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 everybody. So... all right, moving on. I need to reload. I'm not sure where the SPRT came from. That's weird. Monday. All right. I must have missed a. I bet it was SRT. No, wasn't SRT. SPT. Yeah, it's probably that one. SPT. Look at that move. Gap down and giant candle up pre-market. Ridiculous price action. Not a whole lot of new, I guess, I don't even know what's going on here. I thought they'd been public for a while, but apparently not. Well, chop, go away. I vote for that too. So Monday, Let's go back to, look at that. Nice pop pre-market. Nice, nice. So we probably have resistance right up there at that prior area of resistance where looks like we're gapping right up to it. If we can get above it, that can lead to extensions. There is that little rejection high. We popped up there to 170. So be careful on that. But this right now, that's actually looking pretty bullish, if you ask me. Oh yeah, that's a measured bounce setup. This thing can go. I'm doing sloppy fibs here, so sloppy fibs. So 205, 200, yeah, about 205. It says 206. I'd go 25 since I did it all sloppy. That could be a pretty good trade, going from 150 to 205. That's 30% gain just on shares. Could be a wicked gain on some options. I would definitely go out a few months. I'm not expecting that today by any means, but that's an opportunity if we can break above that resistance. You know, it's been resistance here. It was resistance here. If we start getting above it, watch out, baby. And 233 could be the target. So Monday looking pretty good on a Monday. And I thought it was a little tongue-in-cheek. They reported their earnings on Monday for a company named Monday.com. Wow, look at that one. Neo Games losing a crap ton of money, but getting a massive pop. Don't have much to say. That's above all the stuff. It may retrace is the only thing I'm thinking, looking at a pop like that. It's right up into this resistance we had over here. You can see it's right in the middle of that junk right there. So definitely be careful. See, this dropped down, found support here, bounced up, found resistance here, dropped down through the bottom, came back up bottom, you know, tested the bottom, and then dropped out like it wet the bed, and or fell out of bed, I guess, and then consolidated at the bottom. Now we're breaking back up right in the middle. That could pop up. Probably has more resistance right up here. I don't know. It's not one I'm chasing, but it's an interesting chart. MSTR, that one came right down to the roadmap line and looks like it's bouncing. That was on my Crypto Power Plays update yesterday. Beautiful, beautiful three-wave retrace right into the roadmap line. Potential bounce here. Now, an aggressive entry would be now. More conservatively, you would want to wait till you get above these candle bodies right up here. Looking for an extension out to 368, possibly 396. And the bigger pattern has a fib line at 384-ish. So, and we definitely have some resistance breaking out of the top of that range. So far, that's a lower high. I would be cautious on that. I mean, lower high, lower high, lower high, 3 in a row kind of. And we did have some intermediate higher highs, but ultimately that still made a lower high. At this point, be cautious. If you jump on it, just know you're playing with a volatile sucker. MMP, I mean, ridiculous. Ridiculous. That is a giant pop. And I think that's on my double dip trades, maybe. I don't remember. I'd have to go look. No, you know what that is? I held that in Kimberly's retirement account. That's where I had that. A crazy pop on that one. OMH. Nice pop right there. Yeah, not much to say on these ones that don't have enough pattern to do anything. It's a nice pop, but we do have resistance right up there at 27-ish, 26, 27. ALB, Goose has been all over this one, but I still expect this one to drift on down. That's a downtrend. Even with the pop today, I'm very cautious for that one to continue lower. Baidu, we had some conversation about this in Discord last week. Looks like it's chopping as long as it's under the roadmap line. More sideways. That's why I drew this giant blue arrow going to the right. Just expect more sideways. We do have significant resistance built up above us. That doesn't mean you can't trade it. I mean, that's a fair gain going from 120 up to 150 and back down. But I don't like to chase Chinese garbage. You may say, JT, it makes money. Hey, Baidu's good. China companies aren't held to the same standard of reporting earnings and all that stuff as companies here in the U.S. We here in the U.S. So it just gives me caution. YINN could pop out, but that still looks like a bearish chart to me. Meta, well, if anybody's been paying attention, I'm to these giant blue arrows on here. I'm still bullish on Meta going back to fill the gap from February in 2022. So still bullish on that. That's an opportunity right there to potentially build a position. Now it could go gap fill back down to 112. 212 could gap fill back down there. So know your parameters, know your position. I would not go all in right here. I would definitely consider building a small position if I was going to build a position with the potential to go up into the late summer. And we are kind of holding on to those highs right there. That was resistance. We're getting above that, kind of testing it. We can launch off of there and go up big time on Meta. So Shake Shack, nice pop, getting above all the resistance. That thing's probably going on up to test some more resistance above us. Looks like the next level up probably around 80-ish, give or take, up $1 or $2. Probably heading up there. Beautiful move. Losing money. Beaten on the top, beaten on the bottom. Careful on things that lose money. WDC, nice pop there. That looks like a poor chart though. Cautious. Losing money like crazy. I think these hard drive companies are probably going to go out of business eventually. Seagate and Western Digital, they've been losing money like crazy. Their business fundamentally changed, and they weren't microchip companies. We moved to solid state hard drives for a lot of things. They still sell some regular old hard drives, but their business fundamentally changed, and they don't have chip fabs. Seagate and Western Digital, best I know. You may drop some new information on me, but that's just not. I haven't heard of the giant Western Digital chip fab, so they're not making their own memory chips, and the margins are, to build, solid state hard drives out of somebody else's chips. You just don't have the margins as if you built the chips yourself. In phase looks like you could find support here. I mean, that was the target, and we got right in the vicinity of the target. If we can break back out of the downtrend, that looks positive for in phase, but right now, just more sideways at the bottom. Energy possibly can go if we break above these highs right here. That would get me interested in a gap fill back up into this area right here. And I'll probably set me an alarm right here. Set an alert. CWEB. That's a China 2X Bulls. Just popping on Baidu. Looks like the market just opened. Baba. They're reportedly breaking this company up, so I'm not sure there's a long-term opportunity here until that breakup goes through, flushes out. So I would definitely be cautious on that one. Who knows what's going to happen exactly when the China Communist Party, CCP, breaks that company up. So going into like 8 companies, I think. It's like what the U.S. government wants to do to Google and Amazon, I think. PDD looks like a downtrend, even though getting a little pop. AI had a little pop, but probably going to extend lower, bouncing off the roadmap line area, vicinity. Remember, that can just be, poke a little through, just like a lot of the other charts that we look at bullish, and then extend lower. Be careful. It doesn't have to go higher. It's got significant resistance right up there around 2350-ish. WYNN, probably coming on down to the roadmap line. Had a little pre-market pop, but probably going to get that drop on down to the roadmap line. Could hold the lows, but certainly looks likely after consolidating that long that would just dip down, clear it out, and then we can get going again on a new pattern. It was holding the 3618 off of this retrace back here and just consolidating in that zone. Coin got a nice pop on pre-market on Bitcoin's positive action, but retracing back down. This one's probably going to do a little baby 618 retrace, potential measured bounce in here that can take us higher. I would watch for support to happen right around this 54, 55 area. We hold that and break back above that high. We can get a nice little extension, measured bounce style. Take us up into the $74 area potentially. If we get above those highs over there at 83, we're probably going up to that 110 high from back here, up there around 110, 112. So that's kind of the outlook on the positive for coin. Beto I saw was up. Yeah, nice pop on Beto right off the roadmap line. That could be the bounce on Bitcoin. Have resistance right up in around 17. Get above that high right there. It's probably a conservative entry. Put my alert right there. Target still up here around 20. Probably see a more significant retrace off when we get to that $20 area on Beto, which is Bitcoin ETF for future Bitcoin futures ETF. You know, they call it the Bitcoin strategy ETF. It's a Bitcoin futures ETF. So it gets a little more chopped than the actual Bitcoin, either the futures or actual Bitcoin USD, which never stops trading. See, we got that dip right there on Friday. Not quite to the roadmap line, but nice and deep. And turning higher. A breakout above this high is an indication we're going on up. All right. Well, thanks for coming, everybody. That's kind of I gave my bias for the day early. Looks like probably going to chop a little bit. NQ still set up very bullish. Kind of skipped over that one. NQ, what's NQ, JT? That's QQQ. NQ still set up very bullish to go reach up to that 13,700 area. And Russell still chopping down here near the bottom. Cautious on small caps. Oil probably still looking for that little bit deeper retrace. And I'm kind of thinking right now that this one wants to get a lower low than what we saw back here on May 4th. It's kind of feeling lower lowish to me, like that. I'm not sold that that was it on that push down right there. Gold also looking like it can push down. So be careful all the way across the board here, chasing stuff bullish. A dollar pushing back up. This was interesting. I saw this pushing back up to the high right there in this range. Find a little resistance. If we get back above that, we can go test the roadmap line. Still kind of expecting bigger picture, bigger term, that we see this push on down into the 90 area down here, the high 90s, mid 90s down here. This retrace may take a couple weeks, and then we push on down. So it's kind of what I'm expecting. Kind of what I am expecting. So, all right. Sound bearish? No. Like the S&P 500, like we had a 15-minute. Should have been here for the beginning. My expectation for the day: hold in this area and push higher, then retrace. Chop is what I really expect. More sideways chop, so we can break on out to 4,300. Lots of various economic news coming out the rest of the week, and make sure you hit the bell with the notifications so you get notified when I go live again tomorrow and talk about more economic news and earnings and all the things moving. And then tomorrow, of course, in the evening, we'll have 30 minutes of awesome where I take your request for 30 minutes at least. So lots of stuff coming up. Make sure you're a subscriber. Make sure you hit the bell for the notifications, and I'll see you again later. If you want to continue the conversation in Discord all day, give updates all day long. Links in the description. Thanks for coming. Bye for now. You can rewind it, Mark. You can rewind it. Anyway, bye, everybody. Have a great day. Stay